Wake up, wake up. Yeah. You know what time it is? Talk That Talk podcast with Aaron Sims. We got Q Effect. Q. Yo, Q. What up, Q? Aaron Jr. Aaron Jr. You know the Jr. in the house. What we do? Talk that talk. Talk that talk. Yeah, what we do? Talk that talk. Talk that talk. Yeah, man, what we do? Say talk that talk. Talk that talk. If you in Akron, what we do? We talk that talk. Talk that talk. If you in Cleveland, what we do? Yeah, we talk that talk. We talk that. If you in Canton, what we do? Talk that talk. Baby. If you in Dayton, what we do? We talk that. We talk that.
Welcome to the Talk That Talk podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Sims of SMG, and we're here with Q Effects on the production. Yo, we got a nice show for you to hear today. It's talking about energy, frequency, vibration, all that from Recharge Canton. We have a guest coming on that's going to talk about that. But right now, we're going to talk about the frequency of 144 hertz. We got Shedeur Sanders making his first full game against the Raiders. Man, he came out and did what I said he would do. He gave us hope. Put up 24 points, 20-plus points. I told you, get Dylan Sampson the ball. Dylan Sampson gets the ball north and south, gets a touchdown. Shedeur Sanders, the first quarterback to win the starting game in a long time. And he's one of the first quarterbacks ever to throw two 50-yard bombs on the same game. What I'm saying is he has that it factor. And that it factor is being able to get his team to play at a high level, a level that's enough to win. Yes, he's a rookie. He makes rookie mistakes. He got a lot of work to do. But the way his teammates play for him, the way these fans cheer for him is unmatched. It was week 12, number 12, 12 times 12, 144. Let's hear what First Take and ESPN had to say about Shedeur Sanders.
To be able to show the National Football League why he deserved better. On Sunday before his first career start against the Raiders, Shedeur Sanders, who, by the way, is Kevin Stefanski's 13th quarterback during his tenure alone to make at least one start, had this to say.
What do you hope to show against this Raiders defense, your teammates, yourself, and these Browns fans with their play today?
I'm who they've been looking for. Appreciate it.
I'm the one they've been looking for, and then he stood on business, leading the Browns to a 24-10 victory and snapping a 13-game road losing streak.
Yes. Pick 144, Shedeur Sanders. Now, tomorrow, they go up against the 49ers. We have a long history against the 49ers. You know, I do remember the games, you know, that we played back in the days. Again, and it was always good games. I look for tomorrow's game, you know, to be a tight game. You know, maybe 49ers might pull it out, or it's going to go another way. The energy going to be high. The stadium going to be rocking. 144,000 hertz. Shedeur Sanders going to show off and show out. Bottom line. Now we're back to our second segment, and we have a special guest, Jeremy from Recharge Canton. Hey, yo, Q. Welcome to the Talk That Talk podcast. And I'm here today with a very special guest from Recharge Canton. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the people?
Sure thing, Aaron.
All right, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm Jeremy Starcher. Just to remind you who I am.
Hey, man. I know your spirit. I think that's more important right now. Names aren't important out here.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
Now, we met a few weeks ago down at Recharge Canton, and I just want you kind of to explain it and how did Recharge Canton come about?
Man, it was a long journey, so I'll make it short.
Okay.
It was all about renewal. Renewal, yeah. My wife and I found ourselves out of the workforce last year. questioning, what's our next step? What are we going to do? I was a software sales guy, traveled all over the world, and my community, I didn't know. I just didn't know my community. She's a nurse. She was kind of disappointed by the hospital system. Yeah. So she decided she wanted to do something in the community. And we decided what better way to do this than to open up a business together in a community. And then we had to figure out what that business was going to do. And she found this whole concept called Recharge. So we thought, let's go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really big right now because for me, the more along my journey spiritually, my journey with wellness and everything, I kept running into frequency and vibration to the point where I would program my day upon it. And then I found out some things later that the world is programmed on frequency and vibration. Let's watch this short video, then I'll come back to you.
Sounds good.
As a guy in Iowa got curious, why do the birds start chirping an hour before sunrise? He found out the chirping of the birds is a frequency that helps open up the plant cell stomata on the bottom of the leaf, and it lets the plant start breathing in the morning. It helps, that's the alarm clock, it wakes the plant up. He found out that frequency is found in classical music quite a bit. So he started playing classical music to his cornfield. His neighbors thought he's a couple fries short of a Happy Meal, but until his corn grew 15 feet tall. And they said, what channel was that you're playing? When he played the music to his squash plants, they produced 5 squash per leaf instead of 1. He played it to his black walnut tree and it grew twice as fast as normal. Called Sonic Bloom. It's a combination of vitamins for the plant and special frequencies to open up the stomata.
I know. This is special frequencies to open up the stigmata. And it's funny that he would use that word stigmata.
Yeah.
I mean, we look at, the Passion of the Christ and some things that say when you have so much empathy for Christ, sometimes you experience a stigmata. And when I think about frequency and vibration in the cross, we think about our 33rd vertebrae, and that's when you leave your body and enter your cerebral part of your brain, and it was no coincidence that Jesus died at 33, So when he says the frequency opens up the stigmata, I know that once you get to your crown chakra, it's 144,000 hertz. Once you add from the root to the crown, and that's open to 7 seals. So when I seen Recharge Canton, like I told you the first day, I don't know if you manifested me or I manifested you. I said, because I had been going through a transformation, and I kept seeing myself in a pod like Neo. And every day I go to that mineral soak. So can you tell me a little bit more about the health benefits and how frequency can help in wellness?
Oh, man, I love the word frequency. I think that's where we jam together pretty good. But I think ultimately where Recharge is, what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people take their parasympathetic nervous system and calm it down.
Yes.
We live in a world that vibrates at a very high vibration, very high frequency, lots of stress, lots of anxiety, lots of depression, lots of everything that's out there affecting people. And, last year when I found myself kind of at a loss for what to do with my life, I realized that when I was outside and around nature, breathing air, in the sun, getting in cold water,
yes,
all that stuff really helped calm me down. And I thought, well, we got to bring that to the people, and that's kind of what Recharge is allowing us to do. You mentioned the mineral soak, and now I'll never look at that the same. I'll always be seeing Neo now coming out of that pod with the little thing that
yes.
he takes out of the back of his head. But the bottom line is that we wanted to try to bring technologies to bear that would allow people to find the frequency
yes.
for themselves.
Right. It's like, and I tell people when I explain it to them, I say, right now we're going through a shift on the planet. The planet is vibrating at a Schumann frequency, which is very high. And you have to be aligned with the planet or you're going to be diseased because you're not going to be aligned with the planet. I think that's one of the major things about ascension. I think that, there's multiple realities. I always say it's a checkerboard existence, but you can't play chess if you manifest. You know what I mean? People say it's a black box, it's a white box. But just like clouds, they say, "Ooh, that's a dark cloud. It's a bad cloud because it's gonna rain," or "That's a serious cloud. It's a light cloud. It's a good cloud." And we don't realize we were meant to be the blue behind the cloud, not judging light, dark, good, bad. Life just is. It's kind of like Bruce Lee's philosophy: be like water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's funny. We're in a 9-year, which is a transformation year. And I was led to these waterfalls all year, not knowing the essence of the transformation of a waterfall. The big drop in the water hitting another plane of water is something like the Big Bang. And I know people say, "How'd you say that?" He said, because it's the H2O that was together that broke into different particles and joined to an H2O and became one. It's kind of like, I tell people, we are all pieces of God having an experience on this 3D plane in this 3D reality. I said it's like if God was by himself and he said, "I wanted to experience other things," how would he do it? He would be omnipresent, all places at all times, in all things, experiencing. I tell people we don't look for God outside of us, we're within God, a universe inside a universe within a universe. And to go full circle, when I think about vibration, frequency, and things like that, it's telling me I can choose the channel. And now we have the technology to put us on the right channel. If I want to listen to jazz, I'm going to turn to a jazz channel. If I want to listen to sports, I'm going to turn to a sports channel. Now, with today's technology, we have the option. Can you tell me a little bit more about your mission, how you feel about things like that?
Yeah. I mean, one of our favorite things to do at the studio is to sit on that sound bed.
Yes.
Which is a vibroacoustic therapy. So when we're talking about frequency and vibration, that's exactly what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
It's trying to leverage different frequencies to affect your body in a different way. And, our ancestors knew this.
Yes.
It's like we're going through a re-enlightenment now. Oh, really? This is powerful, but we've all known the power of music. What I don't think a lot of people truly fully understand is the power of the frequency of that music. So yes, the sound of the music is pleasing and it's wonderful, but at the same time, there's a vibration that's happening on a certain frequency that's penetrating your body in a certain way, and it's impacting you in a certain way. You were talking about the chakras.
Yes.
Each chakra has a different frequency that if you play, you're going to hit that chakra.
Right.
So that's one of our favorite things to offer clients, is a way for them to come in and feel something that they don't have access to feeling outside of an enclosed room with an eye blind on, or a mask on, I should say,
Yes.
right? Sitting on a bed that's vibrating to the sounds that you're hearing. But also we have other things that allow people to kind of experience what vibration's all about. Vibrations can come to us through sound, can come to us through light, can come through us through magnetic fields. And it's all, you mentioned Sherman frequency.
Yes.
That's basically the frequency of gravity, and you're right. When we're out of frequency with Sherman, then we're not feeling good.
Yes,
So-
we're diseased.
Yeah. So we have other machines that let people feel what those vibrations could feel like, and it's helping a lot of people. It's amazing to me to watch someone come in complaining of a chronic pain, and then after a few short sessions, they're feeling better. I'm not saying they're fixed; they're feeling better.
Yes, and you're making a choice. You're telling your body you're getting better, and I'm doing something for you to get better. Not only am I going to speak it, I'm going to live it. It's so many times I've seen people come out the acoustics vibration room in a daze, and we joke around and call it the bliss room.
It's the blissed out.
Yeah, blissed out room. My wife, she seriously was blissed out. She was all smiley, giddy the rest of the day. I didn't say nothing, but I was kind of planning for this to happen. That's kind of why. Remember, she wasn't gonna come, and I said, "Nah, you gonna have to come. We got to be on the same vibration, because we live in the same house, and we have grandchildren, we have kids, and we want to be at our best for them.
Yeah.
I like to come where my cup is full, and it can overflow, and you feel my overflow. I don't want to come needing something. So I take my time to take care of myself, You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I have a coach, a life coach, and he talks to me all the time about you can't give what you don't have, and more importantly, it's best to give from the overflow. So I really resonate with what you just said, you know. And the reason why we come to the table without that is because of the needs that we have, because we're always looking for our needs to get met. And the problem is that we look for it outside of ourselves instead of inside of ourselves. So once we start doing a deep dive into that and recognizing, okay, if I can solve and serve this need inside, I'm going to have more than enough from myself, and that's when it overflows. So I'm with you 100%.
Yes, definitely. And I think that we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to ourselves to make it to this new world. You know, it's going to be amazing. I mean, you always talk about, and we talked about one time when we talked about viewing the future.
Remembering
the future, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that comes from the philosophy, it's no such thing as time, it's now time always. You know, it's easy to look back at a bad time in your life and feel hurt or feel, oh, that injured me. It's like picking a wound or picking a scab. But you can also look back at the day you got married, when your kids were born, and you feel blissful. When you look for the future, you should be co-creating with the universe of what you want to see. You know, if the future shows you something that you don't want to see, well, now you got time to change it. You know, like I said, once again, one move after the next. But that's in 3D. In 4D, we go to metaphysics, and everybody knows the only thing faster than the speed of time is the speed of thought. So can you say a little bit more about manifestation, meditation, vibration, all that?
Yeah. So remembering the future is actually a tool that my coach gave me a while ago. And it's all about, it's based on the concept that the future's already happened.
Yeah.
And that we can put ourselves into that state. And when we're in that state, we can turn around, we can take a look back, and we can see all the steps that we took to get there. We can see all of the challenges that we overcame. We can see all of the right decisions we made and all the bad ones. And as a result, we can enter into the future with confidence because we already know where we're going to end up.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people call that manifest destiny. You know, I'm going to manifest that for myself. I think that the trick here is you are telling yourself in the present what you already know but haven't experienced.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we already won.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's okay then to remember the future, and it's even more okay for you to spend a lot of time there. So we talked about meditation and frequency. I'm a big meditation fan. I love meditating. I think that if you can get yourself into a state where you're not in a state, all of a sudden you just become very aware of what's happening inside of whatever that means for you.
Right.
And when you're in that state and you start to think about or remembering the future and you come back out of it, you can't help but have a smile on your face. Yeah. No matter what's going on in life, like in the present moment, right? Because the present moment is fleeting. It's something we have to capitalize on, but it's not something we can hold on to.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Tim Tebow said down at Life Surge in Columbus. He said, you're living like you're running out of time, but it's now time always. There's never not now time.
Yeah.
You know, you might say, I'm going to drink this glass in 10 minutes, but when the 10 minutes come up, it's still now.
Yeah.
It's now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's never, ever a time other than now. Yeah. I can see how that could
it's
be.
never a time other than now. Yeah. And I remember first time I came into the sauna, the cold plunge, I looked on the screen and said, imagination is a preview of your future attraction. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm in the place to be. I know I thought about this. I remember where I was at when I thought about it. I said, you know, and it was like, I was like, okay, this is one of the things I remember, you know what I mean? And I was just super happy that you guys did what you did by coming to Canton, you know, North Canton, and getting the recharge. You know, I'm there almost every day. It's just
like that cold plunge.
Yeah, it's you know, and it's not just the cold plunge is great. It's intense what I have been doing in the steam room and the swimming pool down at the YMCA, but it's more of the relaxation, the quiet time, just like I got on the vibration bed, the acoustics, and we said connecting with higher self. And I learned something that I had been trying to figure out. You know, my inner self, my higher self kept saying a state of being is a state of architect. You will become an architect. You are not just observing, you are now a co-creator with the creator. You have graduated to be an architect. And I used to say, man, you know, I thought love was the highest vibration. Then I found out that authentic is the highest vibration. Authentic love is even higher than that. It's almost like supreme mathematics. When you start at born, then you get to 9, and then you get to 0, you're back down to born again. It's like all over again. Once you learn one thing, you have to unlearn to relearn again. It's like a new chapter. And your equipment in your building is definitely helping me put things together, you know?
Well, it was intentional. We tried really, I'm serious. We spent a lot of time talking about what the vibe, that's what we would call it. What's the vibe that we're trying to give off here?
Yeah.
And that started with the location. And we looked at a lot of places that may have been better for business, you know, maybe a little busier location or something, but it didn't have the right vibe. It wasn't what we wanted. We didn't want a place that people were coming to that was full of bright lights and neon signs and sale, right? Yeah. We wanted to build a place that people come when, as soon as they walk in the door, they automatically start to feel, right?
Yeah, I do. As soon as
that was very important to us. And my wife, my business partner, you know, she spent a lot of time on each one of those rooms, creating and curating a space so that people could feel that no matter where you are in the studio. And you know what, we're super proud, and we cannot wait to see how many people we're going to be able to help. But ultimately, we are doing this to help ourselves. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is that we integrate this into our life just as much as we're encouraging you to integrate it into your life. Because, you know, as a business owner, I'm sure you know this, sometimes you just get so caught up doing the business thing that you don't take care of the you thing, right. You know? And so it's a great business. It's a great opportunity for us to impact the community. I'm meeting cool people like you and Alyssa, like just amazing people. And the vibrations that we feel when we walk in there feel good. When we walk out, it feels good. So
definitely.
Yeah.
I know you guys call the lobby a lab, and I get it, because you start immediately when you walk in. You hear the music, and you and your wife, you're definitely class act people and definitely friendly, and we feel the warmth when we come in there. That's why I bring my wife. You know, I want to be around more married couples who are working together to improve this planet, because that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about what you take with you. It's about what you can do with people, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always a challenge. We've been married for 25 years, so it's always a challenge to find what's the next thing that you're going to tackle. You know, once you have kids and then you have the grandkids, it's kind of like, okay, well, what's the next thing going to look like? And I'm excited. I think our future looks bright, regardless of what happens at Recharge Canton, because what we're learning and how we're helping people is helping us.
Yeah, it's good energy in the air, you know, and I believe that what you put out into the universe, it comes back, and that's a genuine, authentic love thing, which is the highest vibration on this planet. I think you're going to help people make it to the new earth. I think we already are there. You know, I argue with people about that. You know, I think we live on two parallel realities right on top of each other. I see people living a whole totally different life than me. Their reality is not my reality. I know, because I can tell the look on their face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I told people I'm in heaven, or a very, very powerful dream. You know, I do believe that I am the dream and the dreamer. You know, I believe I am higher self projecting down here on this earth, learning my lessons, you know, because once you get to the point where I think where you're fixing your vibration, you're understanding, you're coinciding, you're becoming an architect of your life, you begin to manifest so fast. I mean, and it's just blessing after blessing after blessing after blessing, you know?
Well, it's kind of amazing what happens when you tune yourself in, right?
Yeah.
And I think, to your point, I think there's a divergency happening right now where you can either choose to not understand what's happening to you, or you can tune in to what's happening to you and become a part of what's happening to you.
Yeah.
And when you do that, all of a sudden, all these doors start to open. Doors, by the way, that were probably open before, but you were just too busy ignoring everything to really fully appreciate it. So it goes back to the whole vibrations and the frequency thing. If you can get in tune with that, you can start to see things that have always been there, but have been hidden from you because you just weren't on the right frequency.
Right. You're in a whole nother reality. It's certain things just pop up. And
Yeah. I think that one of the biggest lessons for me over the past year has been there's no time like the present to do anything.
Right.
Like, I can think about tomorrow all day long and waste today, and then tomorrow becomes today, and guess what? I'm still thinking about tomorrow. I've never made any progress. Right. Or I can look in the rearview mirror the whole time and be, oh, poor me. Oh, worries me. Right.
Look what happened to me.
Exactly. Or I can put things where they belong. The past is in the past. The future has happened, but hasn't happened to me yet. And now I get the pleasure of living right now today, which is why I'm so glad to be here with you, Aaron, because I didn't think that I would be on a podcast with you. I mean, we met 2 weeks ago. You walk in and you said, hey, this place is everything I've been looking for. I want to talk to you more about this on a podcast. And I'm like, I'm open to that now. I'm like, okay, let's go do it.
Well, I'm glad you are. I'm glad you come through and everything. I just think it's such a big thing. It's a major tool that you're doing, and I would love for my Christian community to really embrace this, because these are the things that Christ talked about. Christ is a consciousness. It's not a name. They called him Christ because he was the anointed one. He anoints your head with oil. When you open every one of your chakras, when you become enlightened, like Jacob said, he wrestled in a place called pineal. Your pineal gland begins to secrete oil. And then your mind becomes the land of milk and honey. And then you are Christ consciousness. The Christ that you've been waiting for is within you. Like Christ said, ye are gods. Verily, verily, I say unto you, the kingdom of a God is within. So there's tools out there now. I don't want to get too, I almost lost it. There's tools right here now that can tune your frequency in. I say put action with your word. Richard Pryor, he had a funny joke one time. He said he walked into a church and he heard somebody whisper, psh, psh, psh. He's like, who's that? Who's that? And there was nobody in the church. And he's like, psh, psh, psh. And he looked, and it was Jesus. He was on the cross. He said, hey, man, can you get me off here? When are we going to get Jesus off the cross and begin to walk and carry our own cross? Like I said, not just even I said, I'm going to say Nikola Tesla said, to understand the universe, you must understand frequency, vibration, and energy. So do you have anything else to say, Jeremy?
That's a hard act to follow, I'll tell you that much. But I will agree with you that Christ modeled a way of living that was way more than just the accolades that the church tells you to give him. I mean, he always found a way to go and commune. He was in tune.
Yes.
He was vibrating with his dad. And that allowed him to stay in tune. Right? I mean, all the way up until the end where he's like, please take this cup from me, right?
Yes.
But he still did it. And why? Because he was vibing. That's why.
He was vibing, and he said, Father, let your will be done. He knew he had came down here for a mission. He knew the fate before he even came. And I tell people that all the time. Before you was born, before you came to this planet, you picked your parents, you picked your life, you picked your lessons. No more blame game. You chose it. Now it's time to get to work. You know what I mean? It's time to get to work. Blame is not going to do anything. Just, work on yourself and forgive yourself. A lot of times we don't forgive ourselves. And
I always struggled. I grew up in the church. I love the church, but I grew up in the church, and I always struggled because it was always like, you got to love God and love others. Right. Love God and love others. And I didn't disagree with that, but I wanted to know where I stood in all of that. because it was like, okay, but then you take another step back and say, love God, love others like you love yourself.
Yes.
Like that's the part that I missed for most of my life until recently when I started to recognize that, you know what, you're right. I need to have a compassionate, loving, acknowledged existence, like relationship with who I am, how I'm wired, and why I'm here. And if I don't do that for myself, I can't expect anyone else to do that. And that helps me get onto the right frequency. I know we keep talking about frequency, but it helps me get to the right spot in my heart and in my head, so that way I can carry myself in the way that I was designed to carry myself.
Right. You know, you do got to take care of yourself before, you know, so you can be some use to others out in the world. You know, you can only love yourself. You'll love others as much as you love yourself.
Yeah.
You know, that's like what Jesus said when they was asking him to go back to a funeral. He said, let the dead in sin bury the dead. He said, I no longer live there. I'm not going back to talk to dead things. I'm talking to living things. I said, before you life and death, you choose life, you know? So with that being said, you know, you got anything in closing about Recharge Canton? Got anything to say to your wife, say about your wife, anything going on?
Well, my wife's awesome. Her name is Michelle. For all those listening, come on down to Recharge and talk to Michelle. No, she's really cool. She's we've been married 25 years, like I said, and this journey that we're on is bringing us closer and closer and closer, and I'm super excited about that, and I'm super excited about as many listeners as you have hearing about Recharge Canton and what we're up to. Our mission is to help people integrate wellness into their life, and we want to do that as affordably as we can, and I think we did that, and we want to bring science-based technology, you know, things that people might not have known even exists, you know, like the pulse electric magnetic field therapy.
Hey, as much as I learn about it, as much as I talk about it, you got things that I didn't know existed. I can't even touch it. Even that one talking about growing back hair, we're going to have to test that. We're going to test the one growing back hair. You know, the lymphomic cleanse detox is my wife talks about it, you know. The chair.
Oh, she likes that one a lot.
She loves it. She almost goes all the time.
Yeah.
That chair, you know, he done violated me in 3 or 4 different ways. But
the zero gravity chair.
But me and her go together now. We done been together too much, so I go there a lot. But I appreciate
That's
you,
amazing.
And I thank you and your wife for having the foresight and the vision to do something like this. I truly think that you're going to play a major role in the shift in Recharge Canton or Recharge all over are going to play major roles, and I thank you. I thank you and your wife for having the courage and the foresight to do it.
Well, thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you and Alyssa being valuable members of our community.
Yes.
And for the opportunity to chat with you today. This was cool.
Man, this was good, high vibrational conversation. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit more talking about frequency and vibration. But let's hear it for our guest one more time, Jeremy from Recharge Canton.
We now know that cancer is vulnerable between the frequencies of 100,000 hertz and 300,000 hertz.
The guys that created the religious symbols know all this stuff. These guys knew all this stuff. We live in an electromagnetic universe. This is what we are told, where everything spins and vibrates. And the electromagnetic universe is actually a subtle deception. You'll understand as we go why I say this. It's a very subtle deception, a very important subtle deception. Because it's not the electromagnetic universe that we live in. It's the magneto-electric universe that we live in. And just twisting those two around would have given us a very different perception while we grow up about the world that we live in and the universe and this reality of us. If we don't think of it as the electromagnetic but the magneto-electric. Huge consciousness shift in growing up with that kind of thinking. Everything has its own specific frequency, as we mentioned before. Prime resonance frequency. Everything vibrates at its own frequency. That's how we can manipulate things with frequency and sound and resonance. all comes to the same thing when you start breaking it down. Sound and resonance are also the common links of all creation. In Christianity, we have the Word, we have the Om in Hinduism, the Egyptians that sang the universe into creation, and my favorite, the Aboriginals that believe the world was sung into creation with 3 sacred songs, or brought into creation with 3 sacred songs, which is the equivalent to the Holy Trinity. And we start seeing the whole important structure of music and resonance and chord structures, harmonic resonance in music. We get the 6 days of creation very obviously become visible in sacred geometry, and the 6 aspects of Om show us cymatic patterns, and the 6 aspects of the all-seeing eye of Horus show us 6 very obvious resonating ratios that tell us that all these ancient cultures understood sound, resonance, and frequency, and it's encoded in all the things that they did. Sound is the source of all creation, and it's all about coherence and harmonic resonance. Even in our bodies, if the cells of our body are not in coherent harmonic resonance, our cells are in dis-ease, in disease.
Till next week, love you to life.
They told me bust out my AP, perfect timing. Got them baguettes up on my neck, I stay shining. It's never hot around my jewelry, chase a climbing. I went and got that new Maybach, I stayed grinding. They told me bust out my AP, perfect timing. Got them baguettes up on my neck, I stay shining. It's never hot around my jewelry, chase a climbing. I went and got that new Maybach, I stayed grinding. You came with me, yeah they lying. I ain't even hit my peak, I ain't trying. 100K for a signing. What they pay? I got reminders. In your city, no we lit, we had any play every time. Face got pretty, yeah. Time out, but they don't want. She ain't never had a with all smoke so fun. She said she need me, she know I handle business every time.